अब hemoglobin है क्या चीज? In the red blood cell, inside the red blood cell, there are two polypeptide chains, 2 alpha. Altogether, they are 4. I am making here 2 alpha or 4 beta. These chains, they also contain heme group inside, attached with them internally. This is heme group, which is purple in shade. What is heme group? Heme group is made up of iron, and this heme group is prosthetic group, which is strongly binding with them. And this heme group is having the iron inside it, and this iron has the ability to bind with oxygen. So when hemoglobin is attached with the oxygen, heme group is attached with the oxygen, it makes oxyhemoglobin. Hemoglobin plus oxygen is equal to oxyhemoglobin. When hemoglobin is binding with the carbon dioxide, because it is also carrying carbon dioxide when it comes towards the tissues and cells, they are actively respiring cells and tissues. They give carbon dioxide to it, so it readily gives oxygen and takes carbon dioxide. So when it binds with carbon dioxide, it makes carb aminohemoglobin. Why carb amino? Because it is going to bind with the amino group of the carbon dioxide. Third is when hemoglobin binds with carbon monoxide, it makes carboxyhemoglobin. And when hemoglobin binds with hydrogen ion, it makes hemoglobinic acid. So, first of all, we talk about the carboxyhemoglobin. When oxygen is binding with the heme group, oxyhemoglobin is made, and this oxyhemoglobin is carried by the help of RBCs, and these RBCs, when they are carrying this oxygen, you can see here, where into the blood capillary, you can see the distance of diffusion is much reduced. Why distance of diffusion is reduced here? Because the RBC is touching the capillary and hemoglobin is touching the RBC's outer layer membrane. So the distance of diffusion is much reduced and they are easily passing the oxygen and carbon dioxide very efficiently, and the diffusion becomes very efficient when they are going to get through. When hemoglobin is reaching into the lungs are having the maximum pressure of oxygen. And the maximum pressure of oxygen is 14 kilopascal. 14 kilopascal. At 14 kilopascal, 98% of it is saturated. So it is saturated with the oxygen. Hemoglobin is saturated 98% with the oxygen when it is reaching to the lungs. But what is the most unique characteristic of hemoglobin when it finds oxygen in abundance? When it finds oxygen in abundance, it readily picks up or quickly picks up oxygen and bind with it. But when it finds carbon dioxide in abundance, anywhere in the tissues or anywhere, it releases oxygen. This is the unique quality of hemoglobin. Now see, I have given you 1 minute. Go through this topic of hemoglobin, this paragraph, then we go further. This paragraph. Hemoglobin dissociation curve. Here you can see in this table, they are showing you the different partial pressures of oxygen, and they are also showing us the percentage saturation of hemoglobin at different partial pressures, which I have already told you that at 40 kilopascal, it is 98% saturated. So a curve is made over there. You can see here. You can see here. You can see a curve over there. 100% saturated. It is not 100% saturated. It is 98% saturated at the 14 kilopascal pressure, and this curve is showing you this thing. Think about the hemoglobin inside the red blood cell. Here the partial pressure of oxygen is high, so the hemoglobin is 95 to 97% saturated with oxygen. This means that almost every hemoglobin molecule is combined with its full complement of 8 oxygen atoms. 8 oxygen atom means 4 molecule of oxygen are present in the one heme group is carrying 2 oxygen atoms. So 4 heme groups are carrying 4 oxygen atoms, and uh, 8 oxygen atoms and 4 molecules of oxygen. In an actively respiring tissue where the partial pressure of oxygen is low, hemoglobin will be about 20 to 25% saturated with oxygen, right? In other words, the hemoglobin is carrying only a quarter of the oxygen it is capable of carrying. Means they want to show us कि अगर सपोज कोई एक्टिवली रिस्पायरिंग मसल है यहाँ पे पार्शियल प्रेशर ऑक्सीजन का बहुत लो हो गया है तो हेमोग्लोबिन विल बी अबाउट 20 to 25% सैचुरेटेड विद ऑक्सीजन क्यों क्योंकि इसके पास इस वक्त कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड ज्यादा हो जाएगा ठीक है ना In other words, the hemoglobin is carrying only a quarter of the oxygen it is capable of carrying और एक्टिवली रिस्पायरिंग मसल जो होता है उसे कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज करनी है और वो hemoglobin ने अपने साथ अटैच कर लेनी है. This means that hemoglobin coming from the lungs carries a lot of oxygen, but when it reaches the muscle, it releases around three-quarter of it. Means when it reaches to the muscle, it is going to release three-fourths of the oxygen it is carrying. Only one-fourth is left with it, and this released oxygen diffuses out of the red blood cells and into the muscle where it can be used in respiration. अब ये ऑक्सीजन जो डिफ्यूज आउट होकर निकली है रेड ब्लड सेल में से वो मसल में पहुंच जाएगी और मसल में से उसको रिस्पायरेशन में हेल्प देगी और मसल से कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड जो है इट विल बी डिफ्यूज्ड इनसाइड द हेमोग्लोबिन